Hello and welcome back to the Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast. This week we're going to talk about something that I've actually got a lot of questions about before with hunger and why I feel that hunger is a learned behavior. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast, where each week I will be discussing all things fasting and how it can become the most valuable tool in your personal toolkit so that you can live a long, healthy, and meaningful life. I'm your host, Vicki Sharon, and thank you for joining me. Yes, hunger is a learned behavior. And before we get super defensive and find things to disagree with me on, just hear me out. So, habitually, we are told and led to believe that we have to eat these 3 meals a day. And from our childhood, we're just instilled that we have to eat. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, right? When truly your body, if it has stored body fat, especially to a level of excess, right? That's energy that your body is happily, eager, ready, and willing to burn and utilize. But because we've gotten so used to with our society in thinking and believing that we have to eat 3 meals a day, and don't forget about all those snacks and things in the middle, dessert at the end of the day. But it's this broken mindset of thinking that we can continue to eat all day long with a similar expectation of your body is going to be shedding weight. Meanwhile, you may also be one of the folks that thinks they also have to do just these extensively strenuous physical exercises, usually that they don't enjoy or feel like they have to punish themselves to, break away from this excess body weight. So this eating all day, your body likes habit. It likes consistent routines, right? So your body will give you those, I'm expecting food now, the hunger growls at your typical times that you're eating once you are coming close to that point. When you're fasting, you're basically letting your body know, shh, hey, quiet down in there. I know that I'm a snack. Like if you've got body fat, you're a snack. Like if you're trying to shed your excess body fat, you're a snack. Tell yourself you're a snack. Be like, I used to throughout, I don't know where I learned it. I may have picked it up from someone else. But I remember looking down at my thighs when I would get those learned hunger pangs. And I would just look down at my thighs and give a little slap and be like, hey, that's all right. We got snacks right here. Let's snack on these thighs, or whatever little funny anecdote you can kind of say to jolt your memory and up and out of that. In those moments, however, when you do get those pangs, I know it can be very difficult, especially if you're somewhere like where you have to stay in, like if you're at work or driving or whatever. If you can think or do something, finding a way to get your mind off of what you don't have, that need and desire, bringing in happy, fun, playful kind of elements, it's going to help you tie a positive emotion, and you're retraining your habits. You're retraining your brain so that when hard times or a stressful moment comes up, if you're habitually, if it's your routine to always swing by the drive-thru for breakfast or for lunch or, dinner on a regular basis, and you wish you could cut that out, thinking about how you can change ahead of time, like think about what you can do positively to make it a different experience. So adding a different element, changing it up, even just by a little bit, can make big changes. So like we've talked about before with tiny habits. So these small little habitual changes, again, that you need to reiterate and feel proud and happy when you are able to refuse a craving or something that somebody offers you while you're, with friends, family, at work, or wherever, and somebody offers you something and you are able to overcome that, previously learned behavior of, oh, whenever so-and-so brings this, we always have that. Or when we are together with this person, we usually go to here. If you want to change that and you implement a positive reinforcement and recalibration of sorts, it helps you to reinforce that you don't always have to give into these little, I call them like toddler tantrums inside of us when we smell smells or see things, or in stressful situations where we need a vice, we need like an adult like pacifier of sorts with food, especially. Are you the type of person to get, as they say, finger quotes, hangry when you have to skip a meal or have one maybe start later than you initially anticipated? All these hormonal responses and stressors, especially tied to specific locations and our environment around us, affect how we respond and what we need to help kind of calm and bring ourselves down. And for a lot of us, myself included, that for me, that was food. That was food. And I just wanted to eat when something was making me upset. And especially like if I had to wait or didn't know what was coming for dinner, or if I wanted more of what was there and wanted to eat it away from everybody else. But not just hangry, but like so many emotions tied to the foods. And that truly just makes it more of a way to pacify underlying emotions and feelings that you're just utilizing food for, instead of addressing them and dismantling them, breaking them down. And if you were like me, that pretty much dictated so much of the behaviors and habits that I had for my life, up until finding fasting, that is. If you are also the type of person that has regular habits that relate to food that you are wanting to address and improve as well. Again, as I've said, I think I touched upon a little bit, but when you have these consistent practices, habits, places, locations, people that always involve food, what you can do first is you can think about, okay, if you're in a fasted window, you can think about, is it something where I can integrate my fasting window or adapt what time I'm eating versus what time I'm fasting? You can also think about how you can make, if you are in your eating window, how you can make these food choices, whether you're making and bringing them yourself or you're kind of collaborating with whoever is making or preparing the food, thinking about ways to make it a sometimes food and an all-the-time food if you are still addressing those cravings and feelings and hormonal urges, pangs that motivate you to have foods that are more indulgent. I call them my healthy hacks. Truly, above all, though, I think it's really, really important. Again, I've said this before. I think it's really important that we give ourselves patience, grace, and understanding for just being on this journey and having the wherewithal to continue every single day in some form, in some effort. And if you're showing up, if you're putting in the effort, but let's say you break a half an hour before you intended to, you should still be applauding yourself for the fast that you did up until that point. You should still applaud yourself and feel good about breaking your fast, even if, let's say, you had a couple extra sometimes foods with your all the time food. Well, honestly, like, that's fantastic still. It's a learning process. This journey is a marathon, not a sprint. And it's something that you should be excited for, with new changes and new developments that you discover within yourself, your likes, your dislikes, what bothers you, or maybe what doesn't bother you anymore, and breaking away from what we know and are just told from such an early point in our lives about how shedding weight and getting healthy has to look, and why we're always led to believe that, you know, you have to eat 3 meals a day and all the snacks in between. Well, that doesn't help somebody who has poor emotional relationship with food and food triggers and sensitivities to stressors and triggers with emotional eating disorders. Like, that's some serious stuff that diet culture just doesn't really address all that much. But remembering that fasting is the oldest healing modality in recorded human history. Like, back to ancient Greece, y'all. Like, we talked about this before, but your body knows how to balance. If we just remember and realize, you know, like I said, you're a snack. If you've got body fat on you, you are not starving yourself. Do it right, do it wise. Never jump into an extended fast right from the get-go. Please, please, please. Slow, gradual, increasing intensity over time. And you'll very quickly see that, this learned response of hunger is something that is based on the habits and behaviors that we have as a culture, not just, in the United States, but globally, that we have to eat pretty much all day. And it's not great for folks that need to shed the excess weight to maintain their health, wellness, and longevity. Like I always say, I want to help people to know and realize, and I hope by now you realize too, if you have not already, I want folks to know that they can fix what they think and feel might be broken. And you're not broken. You're not. We need to remind ourselves that we can heal ourselves from within. We don't have to give into societal expectations on how we should be losing our weight. Use the fuel and food that's on you, and allowing that balance and healing to happen. The process is a beautiful, beautiful evolution from within. This, again, like I said, it's an experience I want everybody to feel for themselves, because when you have this feeling and bodily sensation, you want to keep it. I feel like I've got a glowing treasure inside of me. And this is something I know anybody can achieve. You can achieve this. You can feel like just an incredible powerhouse, rejuvenated you 2.0 is what I really, truly feel like. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And I want this for everybody that wants it for themselves. I truly believe in you, even if you don't. And if you need supportive coaching on your fasting journey, I'm here. I care. I've walked the walk, and I'm very passionate about this way of life. TheFastingFocusLifestyle.com has my calendar, blog, and links and information and much more. I'm giving you all a big virtual hug. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and take care. We'll see you next week. The Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast. Copyright 2023. The information given within this podcast is not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult your doctor before starting any weight loss method. Thank you.